off.
Yeah. Greg, can you hear us at all? I don't know what's going on, mate. I really don't. We can't hear you, mate. You can hear me okay, Scott?
I can hear you fine.
Yeah, I just don't know what's going on. Hang on, Greg. We'll sort this one out. He should be hearing us, unless he's muted himself. But I doubt it. Hang on. I don't want to press remove. Case remove him. Hang on a sec. Greg?
Hang on. I got an idea.
We're working on it. Yeah, it should be working. Strange one, isn't it?
He can mute it on his end too.
Yeah.
Look at my name right.
Scott,
we got a big delay.
Yeah, Scott, no relation to Roger Waters.
I could hear Zulu for
yeah, it was okay when it's just two.
You should be able to add as many people as you want. Here.
Yeah, 6 people. I've got a maximum of 6 people.
Yeah, let me leave the studio real quick, and then I'll come back in, see if it makes a difference.
Okie doke. Greg, can you hear us? Something's gone wrong. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Just do the show. No, we can't. Well, hang on a sec. We'll sort, Greg. We'll sort it.
Tell Greg to get out and come back in like I did.
Right. Hang on. It was all right. He just sort of gone. Strange. That's it. I don't know what's going on. No, something's not right. Is that okay, Scott?
Yep, I still can hear you.
Hang on a sec, man. I'm just going to try something. Greg, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Greg? No. I don't know what's going on, but you should be able to hear me. Can you hear me, Scott?
Yes, perfectly fine.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
It's something on his end.
Yeah. I just don't know what's going. Yeah, it's probably. I think Have to check the mute. It should be working all right. And oh dear. Has he checked his mute? Check the mute. But it's working okay anyway. I'll just try something else.
Were you able to hear him before I got on?
Yeah, it's fine. As soon as I put you on, it sort of stopped. It's strange because we were talking. We didn't want to let you on till you got in your chair. As soon as you came on, it just stopped. It's a strange one.
Mute is fine.
Mute is fine. It's a strange. I don't know why it's not working then.
I know, because I think I could hear his papers rustling.
Hang on a sec. Yeah, I just don't know why it's not working.
Oh, we're live. Did you know we're live?
Yeah. That's it. I've just muted him. That's working. Yeah, we are live. Been live for the last couple of minutes. I saw you, and we were fine. We were talking, but I brought you in because I didn't want to bring you in case you wasn't in your chair. So I wanted to make sure you was present. Like I brought you into the stream. Then Greg's gone silent for some reason.
You guys go ahead.
Okay.
Oh man,
that's what I thought. Just not let's do it.
So weird. It's got to be on his end, but okay.
Yeah. Stay there. Yeah. It's just I don't know what it is. Let's try one more later. I pressed all the buttons. Stop.
Yeah, it's something on his end.
Yeah. Oh wow.
But he can't even hear us, right?
No, he can't hear us.
I'm gonna do it quick.
Hang on, that's brilliant. I think he switched us off.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Let's see if he comes back on if it works.
Yeah. That might be worth doing.
I used this program for the Metal Roundtable. I was on Heavy Metallurgy a couple weeks ago when we used this program and had no issues. So I think it's got to be on his end.
Yeah, I've had no issues. I was a bit scratchy when I started, but I've checked everything. It's all fine. And everybody's unmuted. We're on free. And it's been no problems. The only thing that's worrying me is a big storm. The internet might go down, but I can't see it. But yeah, it's a shame, really. But I don't know what's gone wrong. Anyway, how are you, Scott? What you up to? I watched your video this morning.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I've been busy working a lot. That's why I haven't done a whole lot of videos. I've just been pounded with work, which is not a bad thing, obviously.
Right.
Between all the record companies and some of the side jobs I've been doing. So yeah, I've been really busy. Obviously, you saw the records. That was just the records, you know.
Yeah.
I just got this box of CDs in from one of the record companies I did stuff for. So
So I should be buying stuff off you as soon as I got the tax bit because it's not. I've got them on Stackery, but I've got to sort all the import tax from the States. I'm working on that at the moment. And if you buy stuff in the States, you've got to pay tax on it. So I should definitely start buying off Boone. But it's sort of like you don't just buy it; you've got to pay the import tax and all that. I think it's the same when you buy stuff in America.
When you can always order anything from what's his name in the UK till he leaves. Soundmass.
Yeah, I use them a lot as well. They have some good stuff.
I assume they're going to stay in the UK, but the owner is actually moving to back to Australia. So,
oh, fair play, fair play. But anyway, let's talk Black Sabbath albums. Now I'm so not made up with Greg not being here, but we'll have to sort this. But I just don't know what went wrong. So it was okay, like when we were talking. We were just waiting for you to sit on your chair and bring you in to start the show. Hang on, he's back.
okay.
And
Oh, good.
Greg,
is he back?
Yeah, he's back.
Good. He logged out and is logging back in. Pardon us, anybody who may be watching or watching down the road.
Sorry about this. We didn't know about this, honest. And it was working before. I just don't know what it is. But yeah, so which album do you want to start with, Scott? When you talk about, should we go for the first one?
Yeah, so here, are we going to be doing just our favorite 5 in an order, or are we just going to rank the 5 so we can all do the same one at the same time?
We'll rank the 5. I think we're going to rank the 5, the first 5 albums. I've written scores down. I've scored a couple of them, or one of them at least, and sort of see what's best.
Okay.
Hang on. Greg, can you hear us?
He can't. So weird.
It is, isn't it? No, he still can't hear us. He's not hearing anything. Oh, it's strange. But anyway, I'll tell you what, Greg, hold your albums up. You can still participate in the show. What we got? Oh, the first Black Sabbath album.
Yep, that's the one we're on, right?
Right,
I got notes, scribbles here.
Yeah, recorded 1970-ish.
1969, released in 1970. Yep.
Was it that long?
Yes, it was.
Wow.
Because they released 2 albums in 1970.
What, a Sabbath or was Earth? No, it would have been a Sabbath, wouldn't it? So we were Earth when they started this album, weren't they?
Yep, they were still called Earth. You're correct.
Yeah.
All right, and there's 2 different versions of this album that was released in 1970. The UK version, which is this one here, it was on the NEMS label.
Right.
And it has the big upside down cross on it.
Right, yeah, I know about that. That was very controversial over here.
Yeah, because the band hated it.
Yeah.
They wanted nothing to do with that, because if you actually listen to the lyrics on the album, it doesn't have a whole lot to do with, Satanism or...
No, nothing at all. Well, I'm lying. It does, but we'll go into that in a minute. Sort of. But yeah, that's right. But I remember it caused a big storm that did over here because they wanted it banned because of the upside cross.
So, do we need to go ahead and do the song? So the first song was Black Sabbath?
Yeah, please. I'll do a start, Scott.
So Black Sabbath.
Sorry, that's literally check on Greg Casey's working as well. Yeah. Just in case he can hear us or it goes back or something happens.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Sorry, Greg.
Yeah.
All right. Anyhow, so the first song is Black Sabbath. I mean, it is the blueprint for heavy metal to this day. It is the it created an entire genre called doom metal. That song is 100% a 10 to me.
And me, I'll give it a 10 out of 10. Wash your mouth out, because I come. If you don't know, Sabbath come from down the road, about 40 mile away from me. And don't call them a doom metal band around here. They want to keep your teeth in your head. They answer to the classic rock genre, heavy metal, but the fans don't like it doom metal around here. I don't know why. Sorry, 80. Oh, that's brilliant. Greg says an 8.86. Got you, Greg.
8 point. So who's keeping score?
8.8. What I've done is I've totted all the albums up. I've added them all up, and I've got a total, and we just add the big score up throughout the album. It'd be a lot easier.
Okay, I'll have to. I can add it up real quick. I just put the numbers. All right. So next song is what? The Wizard.
The Wizard. Yeah, that was a strange song.
I love that song. I gave that one a 10 too.
Yeah, I give it a 9. It's a bluesy number, but I may have undermarked it.
8.75.
8.75. But yeah, I'll give it. I love the drum work on that. It was the drums are just amazing. So yeah, I sort of gave it a 9. I love the song. It's a hard one for me.
Yeah, it's one of the songs that got me into Sabbath back in the 70s. So The Wizard's an easy 10 for me. And number 3 was what? Behind the Wall Sleep?
Yeah. I gave that one a 9.
I gave that one a 9 too. So Greg, let's see what he did. I'm gonna start making notes.
Greg's giving it a 10. Greg's giving it a solid 10.
And then we have what's next? NIB? Is that what's next?
Nativity in Black, wasn't it? Well, nobody knows for sure. That's what they thought it was. That's what he thought it meant.
Right. So what did you give that one?
I went for a 10 on that one. I really liked it. Some people don't, but I thought it was a great track. Really
so
heavy.
He gave it a 10. I gave it a 9. So
yes, but Greg give it a 10. I give it a 9.
And then if we flip to the B side, we're on Evil Woman.
Yeah, I'll give that one a 6. I just didn't take to that record. It's sort of.
Well, I mean, Evil Women is a cover song.
Yeah.
By who was the person who did that song? 6.5. That's funny. I gave it a 6.
Yeah.
It's who was the original? Who sang that originally though?
I haven't got a clue because there was 2 cover versions on the album. Was The Warning? That was another cover version off the album as well because Evil Woman was. I know who did The Warning, but I don't know who did the Evil Woman.
I forgot my notes. I ran to grab them real quick. It was a Crow song. Crow was the name of the band.
I've got you. Wow.
Yeah, I made some notes so I wouldn't forget crap like that, and I did anyhow. All right, where are we? We're on Sleeping Village.
Sleeping Village. I gave that one an 8.
I gave that one a 9, and I said that song is heavy metal defined. That's what I wrote down.
Wow. Greg
and he gave it a 9 too.
Yeah.
So,
but did you notice anything about that record as well? Is it male? Does it have the riff of Paranoid in it?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, if you listen to that song, it reminds me of Paranoid. And you sort of got an inkling what was to come. I think it must have, Tommy must have had a look at that record. Oh, that's another riff for Paranoid. I could use that for Paranoid. I don't even notice that.
And then the last song is what? Warning?
I've got The Warning, yeah. That's a cover. Yeah. I know that's a cover version. And, sorry?
Yeah. I wrote a little note down. I said, feelings are a little bit too strong.
Yeah.
Fuzzy, buzzy, geezer bass drives the song with Iommi soloing over top.
Yeah,
he gave it a 10.
And it's definitely a 10. It's just the way Ozzy sings it. But the guy played is a drummer. I don't know his name, but I know he played in UFO and Journey, if I'm right. But I can't remember his name. But I know it was definitely a cover version. Because they said they were not going to do any more covers after that or something, did they?
So I'm adding up my score real quick here on this particular album. And I'm doing the math because I didn't do it before the show, which I should have. I came up with a 65 total.
Right, for all the songs. Got 62.
Let's see what Greg's total was. I wish I had another. Oh, I do here. Total.
total. Hang on a minute.
And we have a total of how many songs? 7 songs. So we got 7 songs, and it's got a 65. Yeah. But for me, I mean, the first Black Sabbath album is, if you're a fan of hard rock, 62.5. So we're all around the same range.
Yeah, it's definitely the one you've got to have. It was the one that started. I wouldn't say it's the most. It's definitely the one you've got to buy if you're a heavy metal fanatic.
There you go.
65, yeah.
65. So we got a 65. Whatever he put down. Hopefully, you're writing these down, right?
Yeah. Hang on a sec. Oops.
But yeah, you can't be a heavy metal fan and not at least acknowledge, one of the very first heavy metal albums in existence. Although we have a whole generation now of heavy metal fans who think that heavy metal didn't start until Slayer and Megadeth. So
yeah, did you see my last video? I had that row with somebody 2 weeks back. So what did you say? Sorry, Scott. 60?
65.
Greg?
62.5.
Yeah, and me, I said
62.5. Yep.
62. I think I know why we can't hear Greg. It's got like a blue parrot thing round his mute thing. I don't know what that's about. It's got like we're okay on ours. It's got like a blue, how can I put it, border round his mute button for some reason.
I think he's muted on his end. If it's not muted through the program, it's his computer for some reason that's muted. But
oh well,
it's a bummer because he's got a lot to say that I'd love to hear.
And me. But, I don't know what's causing it. Can't figure it out. We're okay. We've got no little border on ours, but Greg, he's got like a blue border around his.
Give me a second. I'm going to check something real quick. You should be able to tell if anybody's watching at the moment too. It tells you in the top corner.
I think we've got one. I don't know.
I did put a link on on my Facebook page for people to come check it out. So, but I am going to check something real quick and before we get into the next album, because I think it's in settings. I'm looking on my own computer here. Choose the closed captions. Yeah, it's something in his settings. It looks like to me. It's just weird that he was on and then got knocked off.
Hang on, Greg. Can he hear us, mate?
No, he can't hear us.
No. Strange.
I'm okay. I mean, if you want to, we can stop the show and just start over again. I mean, if there's only one person watching and see if we start over again.
I don't know what's going on. No, I've got rid of the blue background. Greg, he still can't hear us now.
Nope.
No, he still can't. I thought it just sort of took me off, but I've got rid of the blue background, but there's still nothing. Let's do the next album, I think. And just carry it on. And we'll have to get sorted and start the next one. Yeah, that's the seminal album, Paranoia. Or some people would argue difference, but this is the big one.
Yeah. Here's the big one. The deluxe version.
Yeah, we haven't got that. I haven't got that one.
Yeah, it's a four CDs. But honestly, if we were doing like my top 5, this album would make the top 5, but it would be at the bottom. And it's not because I don't love the album; it's because it's overplayed and I've heard it a million times, and there's just other ones I listen to a lot more. But in any case, I did rank all the songs, so
yeah. I've got a funny relationship with it as well, which will carry on. But I've got a funny relationship with it as well.
anyhow, the first song is again. These first 4 or 5 albums from Sabbath are just like, if you don't own these and you're a metal fan, I kind of question why, considering this is the very roots of what it's the very roots of heavy metal and hard rock. I mean, they were them, Zeppelin, Rainbow, Uriah Heep.
Yeah.
Those all those bands from the UK in the early 70s, Budgie. Those were the first wave of British heavy metal bands.
Yeah, because if you don't know, the guy out of Budgie, McBain, the producer who produced the first 3 Sabbath albums, he used to be Budgie's producer as well. I think he produced stuff for Judas Priest, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we got War Pigs. Greg's comments, War Pigs 10. That's to me, is the second best anti-war song ever written.
Mine is I'll do the same thing. I'll put them in here so we can see them. But I obviously we can't go this high. But I said War Pigs 10.5.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that song, is there?
It's got a 10 for me because it's just one of the seminal songs of heavy metal.
Yeah, it's one you can't mistake it, can you? It's sort of unmistakable. That's War Pigs. That's what you're gonna get. You know what I mean?
And what did you give it?
I gave it a 10,000.
Yeah.
Or 10. It's just the perfect song. But yeah, it's my second favorite because Sabbath did 2 of my favorite anti-war songs. And
how many bands have covered that song? I mean, there's probably 50 covers of that song out there from different bands.
War Pigs.
Yeah.
Tons
of covers.
Yeah. It's
and then the next song as well, number 2, Paranoid. I mean, that is the song that most heavy metal guitar players or rock guitar players cut their teeth on.
Yeah.
That one and that and Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah. It's a classic, isn't it? It's just absolutely amazing.
And it's funny because it's a very simple song.
It is. All the best ones are, when you think about it, though. All the best metal songs got not simple to play, but they're simple riffs, and that's what makes a great metal song, a good riff. And I don't care what anyone says. And the best metal songs are in the riff. And that's
Greg also says Paranoid 10.
Yeah, the best ones are so easy. But yeah, definitely a 10, that one.
I mean, if I ranked it any lower, it would only because the song has been so overplayed. It's one of those FM radio constantly playing songs. But anyhow, moving on. Planet Caravan, number 3.
Yeah, that's an interesting song.
Yeah, it's a weird psych song, and it's like more like an intro to the next song, but they don't really go together. So I like the song, but I gave it a 6.
We must be psycho. What's the word? Psychopath, not psychopathic. I gave it a 6 as well. It's one of these songs, I'm afraid, it's like a good Frank Zappa song. About 30 seconds, I'm reaching for the control I can't handle it. It's that sort of trippy sort of,
Right.
6.
Yeah, it's a psych song. You got to remember, it was 1970 when that song was written and recorded. So the psych era was still there. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely 6 for me. I've given it.
That's a good idea to start putting his clicking on him and putting his things up there like that, so other people can see him.
Yeah, I've just done that. I just found that one. We'll have to investigate this anyway, but I'm so sorry about Greg. But I just don't know what's gone on. But it should be working. Oh, well. So the next brings us to, this is going to be an easy one, Iron Man.
10.
Yeah. Well, I gave it a 9, but it's definitely a 10. The reason why I give it a 9 is it's a song I've sort of listened to most of. And like you listen to this album so much. And Iron Man, it's sort of a song, I'll give it a 10, but I'll give it a 9 if you know what I mean. But it's like you, I've heard it so much, you know what I mean? And you sort of get a bit
back in 1974, 75, something in that area, my parents bought me this album called Heavy Metal, and the album came out in 74, but I got it a couple years later. And I became a fan of most of the bands on that album. Because of that album, I started checking them out. But Sabbath, the song on there was Iron Man, and I played that song over and over again. I was a kid in middle school, so I was just a kid, but man, I love that song. So
Yeah,
to this day, it's going to be a 10 for me.
Yeah, give it. I mean, I think I undermarked it, but it's definitely a 10 out of 10 all day long. But like
yeah, whatever. A 9 is good too. So now we're on Electric Funeral. Electric Funeral. Electric Funeral.
Now these are interesting. I give that one an 8, and I give Under Doom a 9. These songs are anti-war songs again, if you don't know. But I gave Electric Funeral an 8. It's a very powerful song. I think the drummer just slipped the name. I can't remember his name, but his drummer wrote it. But it's a very powerful song, and I like it. I gave it an 8.
I'm typing real quick here for Greg. So to me, I gave it a 9. Yeah. I love the whole album, but man, I apparently can't talk and type. All right, anyhow, so I made a comment underneath of mine. It says Electric Funeral, another of those Black Sabbath songs that build from slow and doomy to upbeat and jazzy.
Yeah.
And then Hand of Doom, right underneath of it, I gave that one. I couldn't decide, so I gave it an 8.5 because I really wanted to give it a 9. I mean, but I kept thinking, man, you're giving everything a 9. But I gave Planet Caravan a 6, so I guess it's not too bad. So
because Hand of Doom was about the Vietnam War, and they're both anti-war songs. I was the same. I give it a 9. But yeah, it's a great song, but it goes on, and like you say, it sort of changes tempo a lot. But so that's just great drumming, though, isn't it? I think because he's underrated in Black Sabbath. They always gone about Tommy Iommi, but I think the drummer went to the John Bonham School of Drums. They sort of sound like. Do you think they sound sort of the same, or sort of went to the same school, or the same stuff?
Yeah. For me, Sabbath's heaviness was always there. It was their guitar playing, and I mean, it was that Tony Iommi sound that made him heavy. Whereas a band like Led Zeppelin, who had John Bonham in the band, I think their heaviness came from John Bonham and their rhythm section more than it did from their guitar playing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, anyway, that's just that's the way I've always seen it. So, so he gave Hand of Doom an 8.75. Wow, that's pretty high. Planet Caravan, he gave I gave an 8.5. I don't see his yet. Oh, he gave it a 3. Wow. Okay.
Wow. Right, Rat Salad.
Rat Salad. I don't know. What'd you give it?
8.
I gave it an 8 as well. I just love the whole album.
Yeah, it's one of these. I'll just find out. Is this doing? I can't remember. I'm a bit. My brain's gone. It's getting old. But it's the drummer again that makes it for me. And it's just a great track. The drumming on it's absolutely amazing. But yeah, I gave it an 8.
He's a very, very jazzy drummer at times.
He is. Yeah, he's a very underrated drummer as well. And my favourite's Bonham, like for the reasons why you stated. But I always say Black Sabbath's drummer as well. Check him out. He's phenomenal. And I mean, they all were, but his relationship with Geezer Butler, and they sort of like the bass and the drummer, like the rhythm section of the band. The rhythm section, and Iommi's like the lead. But you take away Iommi and listen to the two rhythm section of the Sabbath, it was just out of this world, especially for the 70s, the way they used to play and the way the drummer was. He was just phenomenal. You know what I mean? And I always tell that to people. You should check it out. I just absolutely love it. I do.
Last track, Fairies Wear Boots.
Yeah. What did you give that one? I'll do mine last.
I gave it a 10.
Yeah, and me.
Famously, I mean, that's a classic Sabbath song. It's It's funny too. I mean, it's obviously a drug song, but it's just the whole thing is just tongue in cheek funny.
Well, it's one of these songs. It was because a fairy in English slang's basically a gay person. That's what he's called in the 70s. And apparently it was about skinheads. But then they said Ozzy had this trip with acid and was looking into a window. and he could see wizards and fairies and all this stuff. And he was looking back at him in this world or something. You know, he's like, I've never done nothing, so I'm only taking his word for it. But also, I think they were attacked by a bunch of skinheads or something, weren't they?
Yeah, I'm really curious if it's been a while since I've read any of the books, but they were obviously flying on heavy drugs at the time. That's for sure.
Oh God, yeah. We'll get to volume 4 in a minute, so we'll do Masters of Reality with next. So I think they were flying on heavy drugs when we did volume 4. But so luckily we've got Masters of Reality next. Could I have your totals, please?
Oh, we need a total, huh? 10, 20, 30, 40.
Yeah, Doc Martens, Greg.
8.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a reason we have calculators. So you have to do the math in your head, especially when you're on live. All right, so getting this up. Sorry I didn't do that. I didn't realize I needed a total, so I never added them up. 71. See, but there's also more songs on this one than the other one.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works, but
yeah. Greg says the band was getting beat up by a bunch of skinheads, but the band won, so they wrote a song about it.
Yep, 71 I came up with.
Yeah. Right. Next one is Masters of Reality.
Probably my all-time favorite Ozzy era Sabbath album.
Yeah. Some cracking songs on it, isn't there?
Every single one. I've got the original. Oops. I've got the original U.S. pressing of that one.
Wow.
The nice thing about the U.S. I don't know if the UK pressing came with this or not, but it's got that. It's hard to see on the video, but it's die cut. So the words "Masters of Reality" are black on black, but it's die cut. So if you get the right glare, you can kind of see the. There you go. See the glare.
Yeah.
But the other thing is the original came with. And this thing is pretty fragile since it's so freaking old. But it came with that giant Sabbath poster.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know a bit about that. What was it? It was a photograph. I think that the British, one of the British, I think came with it. I may be wrong, but that came with that as
well. There it is.
That's right. I think that was on the back side of it.
And then so anyhow, I've had this one in my collection forever. So
wow.
But yeah, it's even on the. See, there's the original green Warner Brothers label.
Yeah, I think it was on Vertigo here, and they're very, very expensive albums, especially Volume 4. They're about over £100 a peak pop now, but I think they came out on Vertigo over here.
Anyhow, so shall we get into it? I guess number 1, Sweet Leaf.
Yeah, that's definitely a 10 out of 10 all day long. My favourite Sabbath track.
Yeah, I mean that track is just from the coughing to beginning to that crazy heavy riff. The whole damn thing is just great.
It just doesn't get any better, does it?
Nope, does not. It's a fantastic song. It's got tongue-in-cheek humor. Unfortunately, it's once again about drugs, but at least this drug is about marijuana. So
exactly,
or THC. But anyhow, 10 out of 10 for me, and that riff is unforgettable.
Yeah, it's very simple. Very simple.
And didn't Cheech and Chong lift that riff for one of their songs too? So
who did? Sorry,
Cheech and Chong.
Oh, fair play.
Up in the movie Up in Smoke, yeah.
Oh well, After Forever.
So Greg gave it a 8.5.
8.5. Wow.
I wish I could ask him why. All right, next up, After Forever.
I give it a 9.
I gave it a 10.
Yeah.
I love the track. It's a great song about standing up for yourself and standing up for your faith and not letting other people beat you down and tell you that God doesn't exist. So not to be ashamed of God. Are you afraid of what you're...
Can I ask you a funny thing?
Sure.
When I listen to that song, do you notice, Friends on TV? Is it me, or can I hear Friends theme tune? I've never watched Friends, but I've heard the theme tune of Friends. And you listen to the theme tune of Friends, and you listen to After Forever. I'm sure you can hear that burr, 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 and it's in After Forever. Whether they lifted it from there, I don't know. Or maybe I'm just going nuts, but I'm sure I can hear it.
I have to pay attention because my wife watches that show all the time. So
yeah, I've never seen it.
Yeah, I don't know. I love the song though. I love the lyrics to the song. Are you afraid of what your friends might say if they knew you believed in God above? Yeah. Don't you realize before they criticize that God is the only way to love? I mean, that's almost a Christian lyric right there.
well, people may or may not know. Ozzy was a Christian. He is very faith orientated, and he always prays before he performs. And people,
if I'm not mistaken, I think I'm gonna look it up real quick. You keep talking. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I saw a program. He was on his knees and he was praying in his dressing room, and I'm sure he was a Christian. Ozzy was a Christian. He wasn't. He was a man of faith.
Well, I mean, most of the band grew up Catholic, from what I remember.
Yeah, Greg says Geezer grew up very much in the church.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. That's what I was gonna say. I'm pretty sure Geezer wrote the lyrics to that song. I was trying to find it and look it up real quick, but I'm almost positive that Geezer Butler wrote.
I believe he wrote a lot of the stuff with the drummer, didn't he? Because the drummer he wrote all the anti-protest songs, like Children of the Grave, and I think War Pigs was one of his as well. That was the drummer. I keep forgetting his name. I apologise, but I think he was a lyricist as well.
Bill Ward.
Bill Ward, that's it, Wardy. I forget his name, but yeah, he wrote a lot.
I just looked it up. After Forever was written by Geezer Butler. So there we have it. Right on. So where are we at? We're on. We need to keep going here. Embryo, which is not really a song as much as it is like a short interlude that becomes it's a 30-second basically instrumental that acts as an introduction to Children of the Grave.
That's right.
I as a song, I'd probably rank it lower, but as an intro, as part of the next song, I gave it an 8.
Yeah, I gave it a 6. I think Iommi was having his Django Reinhold moment because Iommi liked Django, didn't he? And I think that's why a lot of the sort of interludes that appeared on the album, it was like he liked that style of guitar or something, didn't he?
I'm typing that in so Greg can read it. Children of the Grave. It's so bummer that he can't talk, man.
It is, isn't it? We'll have to try this again. What I'll do is we'll try it. We'll sort it out tomorrow, and we'll have to do this again. And
we'll do it. We could do another one like Judas Priest or something.
Yeah, because we'll do this again. Cool. Yeah.
So how about he gave it a 3? How about Children of the Grave?
I hate that song. No, really? Seriously. No. That's to me another anti-war song. That's my second Sabbath song of all time. You can't fault it.
And then we're on to Orchid, which is another. It's a short instrumental, but I think it really brings the mood and gives a mood to the whole second half of the album.
Yeah, that's another item. I'll give that a 6.
So I just think it fits. And maybe it's just because this is my favorite album of all time from them. So I gave it a 9.
Yeah.
He gave it a 3.
Yeah, I can imagine Greg doing that because it hasn't got the guitar and the riff and the stuff, or it's got a piano in. Boom, forget it.
Yeah, but it's see, I don't know. I'm not as much of a song guy as an album guy. I like to hear the whole album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if I was gonna do like just a bunch of Black Sabbath songs, Orchid wouldn't be on my compilation, but it just fits in the album and it makes kind of the mood for that side 2 of the album. That's why I like it. And then it goes on to Lord of This World, which is a heavy groove song. I mean, that song's got just a massive groove to it. I gave it a 9.
Yeah, I give it a 7, me. So I think I've undergraded a few of these on Masters, but I give it a 7.
I'm curious. Let's see what Greg gives it. He gave it a 10. So I could have probably. You could ask me tomorrow, and I might have said 10. It probably depends on the day.
I'm the same with a lot of these, Scott. I mean, if you ask me tomorrow, I'd probably give them a 10 as well, or an 8 when I did it. It's like with Sabbath, it's like Priest. My favourites, not my 2 favourites, but my favourites change every week.
Exactly. And we're on Solitude, which is another, that's very mellow tone.
It is. That's a 6. I gave it a 6, but it reminds me a bit of Jethro Tull, because Jethro Tull had a record out at the time. Do you notice that? That's what it come over to me as.
Yeah, and Tony Iommi played in Jethro Tull for a short spell.
That's right. That's the way I got it as well.
I think it was 1968. He
was playing with
them for a short time. Yep.
Very Jethro Tull sort of smooth song.
And then the last track, Into the Void.
I give that one an 8.
I gave it a 10, but again, this is my favorite Sabbath album, so I pretty much love every song on here.
Oh, fair play.
So, yep. So let's see what Greg gives it here. Greg said, and if you can't see, and if people are just watching or listening, Greg said that Solitude would be a 0, but this is reserved for songs as bad as disco and country. See, he needs to be on here. He's funny. I miss him.
Yeah, that may.
All right, calculator again. Sorry for that we didn't add these up before, folks. This is just we're all flying by the seat of our pants here.
Yeah.
All right, so what do we got for this one? Plus 10, plus 8, plus. My score is going to be pretty darn high, I think.
This one got a 60, I think.
Plus 9, plus 7, plus 10 equals 73.
Hang on a sec. I just dropped mine. I gave it a 62. So you're saying 73, Scott, and 62?
Yep.
I've got it a 62. And I'll just tapping a message. Greg, your total.
Greg's total is 57.5.
Yeah. What was his total for his last album, please?
Which one?
That would have been Paranoid.
I'm looking right now. I'll just have to ask him because I don't know. What was your total for Paranoid, Greg? People are going to be like, you guys are idiots watching this. All right. Where are we at? We're on volume 4. Let me find my notes for volume 4. I listened to all these albums. Where's volume 4? 67.75 for Paranoid, if you didn't see it already.
Oh, 67.5. Got it. Now, the next one's a funny album.
This is a weird one. I don't know. This pressing is... the very first pressing came out like this, and it has... you can see there it is. So it's got like a booklet glued into it. If I can actually get the page to turn here. It's stuck. There we go. So there's the center spread, and then there's this one here. But the weird thing is after like later pressings, they don't have these pages in there. So it only has this picture here, which is Geezer, and this picture of Iommi. So it's funny because Bill Ward and Ozzy are completely missing from later repressings of this on vinyl.
I think I know why that was. I'm about 90% sure. Did Bill Ward have his alcohol meltdown? And I think they missed the session or something happened. I know because when they recorded that, that's my least favourite. They were having a lot of troubles with drugs, big troubles. And I think Bill Ward, Ozzy was basically incoherent. I know they had a lot of trouble. I think Tommy Iommi, he was it was the first album he produced because the other guy, McBain, he left. And I know they had a lot of problems, but I think because Ward, he never did the drugs. He was a serious alcoholic. I think he had problems as well. And he may have forgot to go or something.
Yeah, this album cover is iconic, even though it's just Ozzy on the front.
It is. It's easily the best cover of all the Sabbath albums, but it's got to be a contender, isn't it?
It's just a classic, and I mean, it's just so simple too. But it speaks volumes about the '70s, just the look of it. So
it does.
Anyhow, I guess we need to get on to the songs because we're already on an hour here. So Wheels of Confusion.
That's an 8 for me. Greg's giving it a 10. But that's an 8 for me.
And I gave it a 10 as well. It's just a classic song. And it's got this big old long Iommi guitar jam in it that I really love. It almost kind of morphs into next song, which is Tomorrow's Dream.
I gave that one a 9.
I gave it an 8. But like I said, that's one of those ones I could, if you asked me tomorrow, I could give you a different score.
Yeah, fair play to you.
I think it's going to be interesting to see on the next song. I know Greg can't hear us, but I know for a fact that Greg's going to give the next song number 3 a very low score.
Yeah, I have as well. I don't like it either.
Oh, that's number 3. Changes. He gave it a 3.
I've given it a 3.
And here's my score. I'm going to put it in there. I give it a 10. I love that song. It's a ballad. I know people don't like ballads, but man, when I was a teenager, got dumped a girl dumped me, whatever, that song, I would play it over and over again, man. It was just such an uplifting track for me as a kid. So I've always loved that song for that reason, I guess.
Yeah, going forward a bit, I mean, I like Mama, I'm Coming Home, which Ozzy did later date, but for some reason, Changes, I don't like. I just never took to it for some reason.
Even the name of the song, as soon as I hear it, it's stuck in my head now. I'm going through changes. So anyhow, the next song is next song's not really a song, so it's kind of hard to rank.
It was an album filler, wasn't it?
It wasn't supposed to be a filler. It was supposed to be an interlude. That's the way I understood it. So it's not really considered a song, but it is part of the album. I gave it a 6. It's really just a psychedelic intro for Supernaut, as opposed to a song on its own. If they would have not called it anything and just thrown it to the beginning of Supernaut, nobody would have said anything about it because it's just an intro. But it's only 30 seconds long or something like that. It's not very long. But anyhow,
I gave it a 7. Yeah.
I gave it a 6.
Yeah. Yeah, because remember there's a lot of firsts for this album, wasn't it? So it was the first one they recorded in the States.
It could be. I don't know.
I think they recorded. I think because they normally record in the UK, but they rented their house. I think they did some of it in America. And they came back to the UK and finished it off or something. But I know that the band was sort of really, really into the drugs at that time. They took hold, and it reflected in some of the songs. But I'm sure it was recorded in America, and they came over here to finish it off, or some of it was.
So Supernaut's next.
Supernaut.
Big groove on that song.
Yeah.
I gave it a 10.
Yeah, I gave it a 7. Would you give it, Greg?
Greg gave it a 10, and he said it's his favorite song by them.
Wow.
Yeah, it's got a huge groove to it. So I mean, I can understand it's catchy. It's very, even without the vocals, the riff is just so dang catchy.
Fair play. Fair play. No, I think I must have undermined. I gave it a 7. It started off as an 8, then it went down to a 7. But as I say, I've got mixed reservations about this album. It's not my favourite one. But the next one's Snowblind.
Another song about drugs and the struggles of cocaine addiction.
It certainly is.
I gave it a 9.
Yeah, I gave that one a 7 as well.
Blackmore gave it a 7 as well. So
yeah,
he said he'd love to defend Supernaut.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell him no need to defend it. It's a great song.
I'll have to give this a listen to. But it's probably, if they ask me next week, I'll say, oh, it's 10 to 10. It's just one of these funny albums with volume 4.
Yeah.
It was
so
like...
He gave it what did he give Snowblind? He gave Snowblind a 10.
Yeah. Yeah, Snowblind.
Cornucopia is next.
Yeah, I gave that one a 7 as well, Cornucopia.
I gave it a 9.
Yeah.
And I'm looking to see what we'll see what Greg gives it in a second here. It looks like he's typing it now. Sorry, folks. We've silenced Greg.
Yeah,
we probably made his wife very happy because she can't talk.
Strange, I can't understand it because we was fine. When it was just me and Greg, we was chatting and talking. We saw your empty chair, and I said, "Oh, here's Scott. Bring him in." And then he went silent. That's what I don't understand. I'll have to sort it out tomorrow and have a look, see what's happened. You probably have to pay a subscription or something, or he told me a minimum of 6, I think it is, before you start having to pay for it. I just don't know.
He gave Cornucopia a 10.
Yeah,
and he said this album was my introduction to Black Sabbath. So,
well, fair play.
So we're on Laguna Sunrise.
I don't like
now that is another one of those interludes, but it is a gorgeous song. I mean, just beautiful melody, and I love the instrumentation. I love the strings. It's just a great song, and I knew he wouldn't like it, but I just think the whole thing goes together. I mean, I think to take these songs apart and not, say, well, these songs are meant to go together. It's hard. You'll give them a lower score if you take them apart. I think if you put them together as a whole, I think they get a higher score. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I gave it a 5, I think. Vita's Dance. That's an interesting one.
Gentle with strings. There we go. Okay, so we're on. Oh, St. Vitus Dance.
Yeah, that's a weird song.
And we got the doom band St. Vitus that got their name from that song, I believe.
I was going to mention that to you, actually, about St. Vitus. There was a band. That was my next one.
Greg gave it an 8. I gave it a 9. What's your?
I gave it an 8 to start with, and it got demoted to a 7. I must have changed my mind.
Right on. And then we only have one more song left, which is Under the Sun.
8.
This song I find a little bit interesting because of the lyrics more so than the music. I love the music. I gave it a 9, but I wrote the message down here. I said a song about not being told how to live your life till the end of the song when Ozzy tells you how to live your life.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny, but basically they don't want, I don't want to hear from preachers. I don't want to hear from black ministers of, the dark.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to live my own life. That's basically what the song is about.
Yeah, that's what shocks people when I tell people this. They don't realise that Ozzy, I saw him on a program about 3 weeks ago, and they were talking about the Paranoia album, how it was recorded. It was on the Sky, one of the Sky channels. I don't get Sky, but they've got one channel here. And then he was talking about Ozzy, and it shocked me because every time he tours, you see him on his knee praying. And he's very, very religious, so I can believe it when you hear these sort of songs coming through on the music. I said he didn't sell his soul to the devil. He sort of prayed. He was a very religious guy. Oh, he still is. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And he was praying
I'm just adding up my score and listening to you. Keep talking.
Yeah, he was very religious. You know what I mean? So to say I gave that, I wasn't very. It's my least favourite album, so it's got me lowest score. So I'll get a 59. So I'm at 59. But
I came up with an 86.
Yeah, 86. Uh, 62.50.
Yep, and that's because he gave all those songs all those interludes a low number.
Yeah.
So what are we on now? This is the last one, right?
Yeah, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath.
Which is unfortunate because, man, I absolutely love this record.
Yeah.
I would actually take this one over Sabbath Bloody Sabbath myself.
What, Sabotage?
Yes. Love Sabotage. The whole album is just fantastic.
Yeah, that was number 6, wasn't it?
Yep, number 6.
Yeah, that was a great album. I would as well. I thought it was better than Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath.
So what we're actually on is Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, which is, here's the front, here's the back. Some versions of this album, depending on what country you buy it in, this is the front cover.
Yeah.
And this is the back cover. Either way, it's this person is dying and going to, hell. This person is dying and going to heaven. It's the whole heaven and hell thing,
Yeah.
That's what it's all based on. But you want to get right into the scores?
Yeah, whenever you're ready, Scott. Whenever you're ready, mate.
Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, the title track, basically.
I'll give that one a 10.
I gave it a 10 too. That's easy for me.
Yeah, it's definitely like the first Sabbath album because they always put the best tracks. It's very rare. I think they always put the big number first, didn't they?
A lot of times, yep.
Yeah, so because not many bands do that now. It's sort of like third or fourth, and you got the obligatory power ballad. But Sabbath always put the big track on first. Yeah, it's definitely a 10. That one is.
And Greg gave it a 10 as well.
Yeah. And we got, is it National Acrobat? So I've got here.
Yes, sir. That's it.
I gave that one an 8.
I gave it an 8 too.
Yeah.
No, not an 8 too, an 8 as well. I didn't give it an 82.
Yeah, we're on the same page with that one.
And Blackmore as well, 8.75.
Oh, fair play, Greg. Fluff, is it Fluff?
Yeah. Right here, I can almost guarantee that this will be a low score from Greg. We'll find out in a second.
If it's got a piano or ballad or anything else apart from a guitar, it's going to be at least a 3.
I gave it an 8. I like it. I mean, but I like those interludes and stuff like that. So
I put it down as a 7.
And he gave it a 0.
Yeah. Fluff. This is a funny one. I hope I pronounced it right. Is it Sabra Cadabra?
You got it, brother.
I was going to always say abracadabra. Don't ask me why. That's why I double checked it. When I think of it, it's abracadabra, but it ain't. It's Sabra.
Yeah, it's and I think it was a play on words with Black Sabbath and abracadabra and Black Sabbath. Yeah. So let's see. I gave that one a 9.
I gave it an 8.
Greg gave it a 9 as well.
Fair play, Greg. Next one is Killing Yourself to Love. Is it? Yeah, Killing Yourself to Love.
To live.
Live.
To live.
Sorry, it's my writing. Yep. I gave that one a 7. It's a nice, solid track.
I gave it an 8. So Sabbath is hard for me because I love Sabbath. So it's like there's not a whole lot of low scores for me on Sabbath because I love I love the guitar interludes. I love the little jazzy things that Naomi did, but I get it. Other people don't.
Yeah. They didn't make any bad songs. The only record I like Changes, forget that, apart from Changes. I mean, like you say, never made a bad song with that Ozzy era of Sabbath, like what we're doing tonight. But there's just some aspects I sort of marked them a bit lower. It's just personal, you know what I mean? But none of the Sabbath just didn't make any bad songs, did they? All apart from two, they wrote them themselves, which was fantastic as well. And they're just amazing, and they're very technical as well.
The center fold on that particular album.
Yeah.
Cool picture of the band. Mine's weird because you don't see many Sabbath albums like that.
No, but red vinyl
on the NEMS label,
wow.
Which makes sense. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, right? But yeah, this album is a little more not jazzy, it's not the progressive, a little more proggy.
Right.
I might be mistaken. I don't think I am, but I'm pretty sure that Rick Wakeman from Yes was played on this album.
I've never heard that one.
I'm gonna have to look.
Check up on that.
I'm gonna look right now. You can go ahead and talk about the next song, and while I look it up real quick.
So we've got "Who Are You" next.
There you go. It's funny; it came right up. Yep, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. I was correct. So I wasn't incorrect. So yeah, Rick Wakeman from Yes actually was the keyboard player and apparently was involved in the writing and recording of this whole album, which would explain why it's a little bit more proggy.
And I can go one up as well. I've actually met Rick Wakeman. When I was in Camberley working in the record store, there was you've seen it on my videos. It's not there anymore. It's gone somewhere else. Rick Wakeman used to pop in because he lived in Camberley before he moved to the Isle of Man. And I met him twice, and he always got us to fetch some obscure piano music that was never being recorded. You know what I mean? Right. And they used to say to Rick, "Why can't you get a so-and-so album?" He says, "No," because he heard some music in his head, and he automatically thought it was a record of it or something like that. And we used to, one of the lads, like the boss, I was like the underling, he was the boss. And he used to try and find in the records. We never could. And apparently the supplier said, "Oh, no, this has never been recorded." But I met quite a few famous people at that shop. But Rick Wakeman, he was dead nice. And I met him twice. He was lovely, he was.
I'd love to meet him. I would love to meet him one of these days, but that'll probably never happen since we live on different sides of the pond. But Who Are You? I don't know. I wrote down a 6, then I upgraded it to an 8 as I was listening to it. So
yeah, I gave it a 6. I like the vocals, but I don't like the music. That's what I've written.
So where are we? We only have 2 songs left. Looking for Today.
Yeah, and Spiral Architect.
Yep. So what did you give Looking for Today?
7.
Oops, I hit mine before I put the number in. I also gave it a 7.
And Spiral Architect 7, because that reminds me of a Who song. Did you notice the Who riffs in that, or is it all vice versa?
And I gave it an 8.
Yeah, but with Spiral,
this is probably my lowest ranked album from them.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do the math real quick.
60.
66.
Yeah, I'll give it a 60.
66.
Sorry, what was your Scott? Sorry.
66 total.
And Greg, just need a score from Greg.
Looks like he's working on it. He gave it a 51.25.
Yeah.
So he really gave it a low score.
Yeah. I say it's hard to do this because I say I'm probably, when you listen to it tomorrow, oh, this is cracking. You give it an extra 10 points. You know what I mean?
So that's all of them, right? I actually did rank Sabotage too, but
yeah, that's definitely being one. That'll definitely be in it.
So yeah, I love this album as well. But the next 2 albums after it, I like those as well. I don't think they're as good as the early material, but I still kind of dig them. Like here's the this thing's heavy. The Technical Ecstasy deluxe set. This thing is massive.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's massive.
Yeah.
It's got 5 albums, 6 albums.
Flipping it.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 albums. Yeah. Anyhow,
Amazing, isn't it?
I don't dislike any Ozzy era Black Sabbath albums. I just don't think the last two they did were quite as inspired as the first six.
Well, with Never, the last one, that was when Ozzy left. That was his last album, wasn't it?
Yep. No, they had two more. They had two more after this one. They did Never Say Die and Technical Ecstasy.
Yeah, Never Say Die. That's what. Cause was Ozzy? Did Ozzy sing on Technical Ecstasy?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that because Ozzy he left because I think he left the band. I thought because he left it Never, wasn't it? I thought it was his last album.
Nope, he sang on Technical Ecstasy, and then then they brought on Dio 1979, 1980 for Heaven and Hell. Yep.
That's right, yeah. Then it was...
I think that they did some shows without Ozzy for that tour, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I read the Black Sabbath biography, but yeah, he was pretty much... I still don't know the truth if he was kicked out or if he quit.
I don't know. I hear so many versions of it. That, it's unreal, but all the ones that point to they sacked him. That's what Iommi said in interviews because he was that.
And I wouldn't doubt that. I mean, I if you read some of the books by the members of people who were in Ozzy Osbourne's Blizzard of Oz, what's the bass player's name? I keep thinking Bernie Marsdale. That's not right, huh?
Who's Sabbath's bass player?
No. Ozzy's first bass player in Blizzard of Oz. The guy from Gary Moore.
Oh,
gosh,
yeah.
He wrote the first three. He wrote three.
He wrote all the songs, didn't he?
Yeah, and I can't. Anyhow, according to him, when at that point in time, Ozzy was so messed up, and he was just like, even during in the studio when they're writing, he'd be sleeping on a couch in the other room while the other guys were rehearsing and writing songs together.
Yeah.
So why can't I remember his name? That's driving me up a freaking wall. I'm gonna have to look it up.
They were a bit like that during Volume 4 as well.
So you can only... Go ahead, I'm sorry. I'm looking up his name. Right.
Greg says
there you go.
Bob Daisley.
There you go. You got it. Bob Daisley.
Because he got a lawsuit out on Ozzy about because he didn't get paid, did he?
Well, that's what he said. And then they remixed the album and took him out and put another bass player in there. Yeah, Robert Trujillo played in his place. So
that's right, because Jakey Lee was the same as well. Because I thought Ozzy was lucky to have Jake, and he only lasted one album, didn't he? And he got, I think Sharon hated him or something, and he got the boot.
I mean, and I kind of get Sharon's idea. I mean, basically, Ozzy was the star of the band. He was the one but at the same time, he didn't write the songs. So yeah, but in any case, we're getting off. We're getting way off topic. So who won? Are you gonna what are the scores?
Yeah.
Oh crap! Sorry.
So hang on, mate. Look, 65.
It'd be interesting to see who actually won this thing.
Hang on, mate.
I think the first Black Sabbath album has a little bit of a disadvantage though, as it has less songs on it. But
yeah, because you got to remember as well. Some albums have got 10 songs, and some albums have only got. So I think some have got less.
Yeah, Greg actually ranked Sabotage too. I have a ranking too. I'm gonna look it up since he did it. I'm gonna do it too. While you're giving up those scores, I'll do this one here.
Yeah, I was getting the calculator sorted.
8 plus 7 plus 9 plus 10. I give it a 71. Let's see. Oops. Let's see here. Sabotage total 71.
361, Scott.
I was adding up. I was doing something totally different. So what did you get totals wise?
A 361 for Scott's council.
I didn't write everybody's scores down because you were doing it. So
no, it's all right. I'm just doing it now. Cheers, 60.
In the meantime, Greg's going to entertain us with a song. Greg, pick up your guitar and play.
Oh, he taught Blackmore everything he knew.
Here we go. I'll just show some stuff. We're here. This one's for Greg too.
Oh no, damn. Try
Greg,
again.
you need this one.
Sorry, I'm slow.
I don't.
Do you think you'll ever get the band back together, Scott? Ultimatum?
I mean, I'm not against it. I just don't know if it'll ever happen. I did get a really cool Ultimatum shirt. Check this out. It's one of those all over print shirts. So the entire shirt is the album cover.
Wow, that's amazing.
Isn't that cool? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing, that is.
There's my wife. Hi, wife.
Hi, wife. Hi, husband.
We're almost done. They're adding up the scores.
Okay, good, because we have
I heard.
babies here to decorate a tree.
Good. I'll be out shortly.
All right, love you. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
Yeah, I'm just doing the last one. When you got to do something, you sort of. 62.
I also got this as a Christmas present from I didn't know it was a Christmas present. I would have opened it, but
What's that?
Black Sabbath Live Evil box set.
Oh, that's a fantastic one. That is, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard it yet. This one's still sealed, so I'm looking forward to checking it out.
You'll love it. It's brilliant. That's the problem with me with Sabbath. I always listen to the live stuff, all the compilations.
Oh, I'll show you one. Getting out of my chair for a second. I'm going to show you one of my favorite Black Sabbath records.
3, 2,
Live records, that is. Gotta figure out where it is.
Oh dear, I've just realised what I've done wrong. Hang on a sec. Just try and work this one out. We've got all the scores.
There it is.
Yeah, I don't know what I've done wrong here.
Here's you ever heard this one? This is Dio era, obviously, but
no, I haven't seen that one. That's probably one of the new ones.
Live at the Hammersmith Odeon. I picked this one up probably, I don't know, 8-9 years ago. Yeah, that's a good one too. He's got the Black Sabbath with Rob Halford filling in for Dio.
Right,
that's a cool show.
Bear with me, guys. I'm about to. I just realised something.
No worries.
First, second. We did them in order, so I've gone the wrong way. It's all right.
Do, 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 do.
Should be 3 numbers, yeah. 71. It's all right, I've gone the wrong way. You can tell I was no good at maths at school.
You know, in this program, you can also like create a show and just never hit the live button. You can bring friends on and just have discussions and never go live.
I never knew that.
Yep. Just don't push the live button we've done it. We had Caton from Hyrax come on the show, the Metal Roundtable once, and the show was an hour long. Oh, that's a good one. Right. And we ended up doing a whole another hour afterwards. It wasn't recorded.
Wow.
I'm still here. I'm just. Hey, Greg. Yeah, that's a great one. That Heaven and Hell one he's showing now.
Yeah. That's first. That's second.
Here you go, Greg.
56. Oh. Right.
This one's This is called Steel City Schizophrenia.
That's the first.
Live in Pittsburgh, 78. This is New Jersey, 75. This is the BBC in London, 1970.
I remember that one.
And then the Paranoid torn from Paris, 1970.
You
And then
look
finally,
out for. Sorry.
And finally, this one is from Rugman's Youth Club, 1969. When they were just kids. Look at that. Kids. So they play The Warning, Behind the Wall of Sleep, NIB, Black Sabbath, Wicked World, Blue Blooded Man, Song for Jimmy, Drum Solo, and Early Morning Blues. So it's a bunch of Earth stuff on there.
Wow.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it is. Because the English one you want to look out for is the old grey whistle test.
Yeah, that's the TV show, right, that they were on?
Right, Bob Harris was in it.
I believe so.
And yeah, it's like an English institution. But look, anybody who was anybody on there was on there. That's what I was brought up with when I was a kid.
Once we're done here, that's fine. My wife just walked in because all my grandkids came over. They're going to help us decorate the Christmas tree.
Oh wow!
So that should be fun.
I'm getting there. I'm nearly done.
Jenka. It's funny that we're doing all the stuff and Greg can't talk.
I'll sort it out tomorrow.
That's a good one too. Cool.
Or maybe later. I'll have a look. I can't understand why not.
No worries. We know that all those albums rule. That's pretty much what we came to the consensus on.
Yeah.
They're all fantastic albums.
Oh, they're the best. I mean, I had a right go at somebody a couple of weeks back, and they said to me, made a statement. I think you've said it before as well. And they're talking about death metal and all the like the 80s stuff's rubbish. I said, well, you can't say stuff like that.
Here you go, Greg. Look at that. Look at those pictures, man. That's some old Sabbath right there. This is from the Paranoid booklet. There you go. Yeah.
I've got 2 more to do, but I'm quick. So I should have gone across and I went down.
Oh, stuff happens. It's the first show. We'll figure it out. Right?
We sure will. I like your show, Metal Round Table.
Thank you. Yeah, we enjoy doing that show.
Yeah, but the problem is the time here. You start what, 10 or 11?
At night, for you?
No, yeah, it's about 11 o'clock here. Tuesday's a bad day for me anyway, because with the family and stuff. But I know because I always catch the tail end of it, the last 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
You're right. Now we're showing Dio stuff.
I could tell you a few stories about Dio, but that'll be another one. So I found out a lot of stuff about Dio I didn't know.
Here you go, Greg. Here's one you've probably never seen before. I've never seen it before. I just recently picked it up. Hoochie Coochie Man, Ronnie James Dio, and Elf.
66. And 8325. Right, I've done it. Right. So the favourite one is the second album, Paranoid. And that got a whopping 216.5. Sorry, the favourite one was number 4.
Really, Volume 4 made
Oh, hang
was
on
number
a sec,
1, huh?
hang on a sec. No, hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. I'm nearly there. I'm looking at the wrong figures again. The first one, the best one was the second album with 216.5.
Paranoid. Nice.
Then the first one got 189.5. That was down on the table. It was slightly better than the fifth one. Third was the fifth one, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. And I think Volume 4 got 192.5.
Nice. Well, unfortunately, that Greg couldn't be on the show, but
yeah, I'll sort it out before we carry on. I'm sure
it was still fun.
It was.
Let me know when you're going to do another one, and I'd love to be a part of it again.
Yeah, sorry, because I was still practicing it, but I just don't understand it because I've checked the rules and there's not 6 of us, and why it's not working, I haven't got a clue. Because it was working when Greg started. Then when you came on, I put you up on the screens. Greg stopped working for some reason. I just don't know what's caused it.
Go ahead and end the show real quick, and then I'll hang out. We can still talk after for a second.
Okie doke, cheers. Hang on a sec. The stream's finished. It's gone now.
It says it's still live.
Hang on a sec.
You have to click that end button twice. You have to click the end button.